I just wanted to gently warn everybody to be prepared every day, no matter what time or where you are at. The Lord, the King, Jesus Christ, is coming back soon. We have to be prepared. But before that, I do believe we're going to be entering in some kind of war, and I just wanted to warn everyone gently about that. The past few years, I've had dreams that I didn't think were from God. They just seemed kind of violent and depicted war. And I've mostly shrugged those dreams off. But it wasn't until recently, probably last night, I've had a dream. And I felt the Holy Spirit there or something. And I seen a U.S. Abrams tank. Now this tank was pretty much destroyed, even though the armor panels on it were still attached to the tank itself. What I seen was like this tank was destroyed and it had its turret and it was bent upwards and backwards like it almost came off, but the force wasn't strong enough to take it off. And that was the entire dream. And that's what I drew in the background. I know it's not a good picture, but I drew a little U.S. Abrams tank with its little cannon bending upwards and backwards. And yeah, it was just destroyed. At first glance, it didn't look like it was, but the insides were pretty much gone from what I felt in that dream. It was just something about destroyed. But it was American, and we had American crew in it. And I just had a recent open eye vision. It kind of, I didn't even realize I was happening. I didn't even realize it was happening until I started getting annoyed that I was trying to focus on doing something and I kept imagining something happening. And I kept imagining, like, for some reason, the characters from Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 maybe, but mainly the first one. And it was like also mixed in with the game Helldivers. And I seen the yellow ammo pack, the resupply thing from Helldivers, and I kept hearing reloading, and it looked like a video game title screen. It was playing some strong music. It was vivid, but I couldn't make out too many details. And I just kept hearing like title screen music of of an awesome game, and just reloading, and the ammo was spinning in like a circle or something. Now I know I probably lost a lot of people up to this point, and I'm still not entirely too sure what that one meant, but based off of what I've seen in the past and what I've just seen now, I believe I'm being warned. There will be war soon. Now, maybe not in the next couple of months, but there's going to be war. Personally, I did not hear this from God, but I believe we're going to go into Iran. It'll be like Vietnam. But I really hope we don't and these things de-escalate. You know, I've had some dreams and visions about a limited nuclear war taking place, and I don't want to see that happening. For some reason, I'd seen like somewhere in the Middle East being nuked by both Russia and the United States, and soon it went into a global nuclear war. I hope not. I thought we had more time before Christ's return. Because look around at the world, folks. It's not going well right now. Now is it? We got Russia invading Ukraine. That itself could have caused a nuclear war. Now we're going to be possibly invading Iran. That itself could go into nuclear war. And there's a whole bunch of countless other things that's been happening. And if you notice, things have been slowly escalating higher into greater levels than before. The more violence and fire that happens around the world, the closer we are getting to nuclear war. The more wars that are happening, the more countries that are struck by the US or Russia, the more likely we're going to get into a world war. And I don't care how good you think the United States military is. It doesn't matter if the world doesn't exist anymore because it's in a nuclear fire. This is not overreaction. I'm trying to teach everyone who listens to this message so that you're not ignorant anymore. The more threatened other countries feel about other countries, the closer we get to nuclear war. The more violent actions that take place, the closer we get to nuclear war. It's like climbing a ladder and saying you'll never get to the top. Well, the top of this ladder is nuclear war. Stop trying to climb this ladder to get to the top, pretending you're not going to get to the top. Sooner or later, you're going to feel pushback against America. Sooner or later, you're going to be drafted. Sooner or later, if we go to war with Iran, sooner or later, that's going to end up in World War III. You think the Russians are just going to sit back and do nothing? No, they're going to see that, think to themselves, well, if the United States can do this and strike anyone they want, we can do that as well. We can hit Poland and we can hit Ukraine with nuclear weapons or some kind of catastrophic weapon. And yeah, that's a large jump. Maybe other things will happen before it gets to that point, but don't you see what's going on? It's like going to a casino and saying double and nothing until you bet the house and all your life savings and it's gone. You keep raising the stakes until the stakes cannot be raised anymore. That's the reason we're not in a global war right now. Our leaders know a world war would probably end the world. And they don't want that. That's why things have been escalating slowly. But there comes a certain point where there's going to be a point of no return. And you will have a nuclear war or World War III. And there's going to be no way to avoid it. That's why Russia and the United States keep barking and saying big talk, but don't always follow through with it. They're trying to be careful and do things in a gentler way because they don't want nuclear war. But even if it's not nuclear, do you want to lose a few million Americans fighting the Russians and Chinese? You know, if Chinese said, hey, you know what? United States, that gave me a good idea. Let's invade Taiwan right now while you're preoccupied on Iran. And then maybe Trump wants to defend Taiwan, and now we're at war with China. And guess what? Now we're at war with Russia. It's just dumb. Be careful. I'm going to upload another video soon. God bless and be safe.